Hey guys, this is video number 4 in the Harmony series where we are going to look at how chord function works. In other words, how the chords in a given key function within that key, the roles they play, and how you use different chords in a song to make them make sense and flow in a nice way. Now, stepping back, in this series we've looked at different ways to craft good chord progressions, and in the process we've looked at a special link between the chords in a key that informs how you can arrange them in a progression. Basically, the chords in a key arise from the major scale within that key by starting on each note of the scale and then combining every other note to form 7 different chords. And the tertian intervals within these chords, the intervals of a major third or minor third, influence the sound of each chord. And when you look closely, this pattern of tertian intervals actually forms a kind of chain that connects all of the chords like this. And when we look at the harmonies in a key, at the chords in a key, laid out in sequence like this, and then wrap them into a continuous loop, we can see how all of the chords in a key form a kind of harmonic space, where the root note of each chord and its Roman numeral represent the 7 basic harmonies in a key. 1, 3, 5, diminished 7, 2, 4, 6, and back to 1 again. And within this harmonic space, we can move between the chords to create all sorts of different progressions, like the 1, 4, 5, 1 progression, or the 1, 5, 6, 4 progression, or the 6, 2, 5, 1 progression, etc. The paths and possibilities are nearly endless. But a good question is, why do these chord progressions flow as they do through harmonic space? What informs the path they take and the direction they move, whether it goes up to this chord or down to that chord? What is it that propels them along this path? The answer is a simple, powerful principle known as chord function, which basically works like this. In essence, the chords in each key serve specific roles within a song, and these roles or functions create sensations of movement that together propel the music through states of stability, change, and tension. And when you group the chords by these 3 functions, the image looks like this. Chords 1, 6, and 3 all share common tones that create a feeling of stability within a key, harmonies that evoke a sensation of centered calm. So together they function as, quote, tonic chords, that is, as a general region of home base within a song. Chords 4 and 2 share tones that create a feeling of change in a key, harmonies that serve to throw a progression off kilter. Together, they function as, quote, subdominant chords that help to add variety and interest to a song. And then chords 5 and 7 share tones that create a feeling of tension in a key, harmonies that add a sensation of imbalance and unrest. Together, they function as, quote, dominant chords that lead a song toward balance once again, in that a lot of progressions return to a chord of stability after passing through one of the chords of tension. So while each chord has its own sound and all the harmonies share their own special bonds, every triad also serves a general role based on its chord function, and these chord functions help to move a progression along as it flows through harmonic space. Of course, there are no strict rules to how you might move through this space, but as a general guideline, many progressions tend to flow in a clockwise direction from beginning to end. Starting with a tonic chord for initial stability, then moving to a subdominant chord for some change, before passing through a dominant chord for a climax of tension, on the way back to a tonic chord once more for sonic resolution. Though again, the movement of a progression can definitely vary, so I'm going to go through 3 different examples where you can see how chord function helps to give a song a sense of movement, because as the music cycles through states of balance and imbalance, it's audibly thrust into forward motion. So the first example is a song based on the 12-bar blues progression. It's Carl Perkins' Blue Suede Shoes from the 1950s, and it goes like this. Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, now go cat go, now don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything but stay off of my blue suede shoes. So what's going on here is it starts with a chord of stability. Well, it's a chord of stability, chord of stability, chord of stability, chord of stability to change, chord of change to stability, a chord of tension to a chord of change to stability. So in this sense, it didn't go straight from tension to stability. It went from tension back to stability by way of change, resolving back to stability. So that is chord function in action in the 12-bar blues. And then looking at the ever popular 1, 5, 6, 4 progression using U2's With or Without You as an example, The progression through the lens of chord function looks like this. A stable chord to tension, stable chord to change, a stable chord to tension, a stable chord to change. And then it just repeats that same cycle again and again and again. So stable, tension, stability, change, stability, tension, stability, change. And then dissecting Weezer's song Island in the Sun as a third example, this progression goes through 6, 2, 5, 1, like this. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I want to feel it too. So in terms of chord function, the progression goes through stability to change, tension to stability. Stability to change, tension, stability. Stability to change, to tension, to stability. So in all of these different examples, the chord progressions move in different ways through harmonic space. In Blue Suede Shoes, Carl Perkins stayed within the consonant inner ring of chords 1, 4, and 5. But even though those chords are consonant, chord function tells us that we're still moving between chords of stability, change, and tension. In U2's song With or Without You, the chord progression 1, 5, 6, 4 blends both consonance and dissonance by moving between major chords and minor chords, but it's really the chord function that informs the flow of chords. So moving between chords of stability, change, and tension. And the same is also true with Weezer's song Island in the Sun. That song also, like With or Without You, moves between chords of consonance and dissonance, or major chords and minor chords, but it's the chord function of stability, change, and tension that tells us why that progression sounds so good, and it informs how those chords flow from one to the next. So, with this insight into chord function, you can use that as you're playing the different chords in a key and stringing them together to come up with a chord progression. It's chord function that you can use to guide you as you go. So that is how harmonic function, how chord function works. And in the next video, we're going to see how these chord relationships, how chord function is consistent from one key to the next. Because after all of the keys in music are symmetrical and consistent from one to the next, and I'm going to show you how that works. So check that out, and I will see you in the next video.